Our backs are against the wall, and it's just hard to accept that it's really come to begging.
Sometimes it's the only way to stay in the game.
Please tell your friends about this show.
Now I'm driving on the Oregon Trail in Nebraska. Oh no, I've got dysentery.
Hello, and welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
I'm Chad McCanna.
Hey, Chad. How are you? Are you ready for a big announcement?
Sure. I'm doing okay, by the way, to answer your first question. You asked me two. You didn't give me a chance to respond.
Well, I don't really care about the first one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're nothing but a tool.
See, I
further
care.
Well, you're just a blunt instrument. You are my conversation co-host, and quite honestly, it could be anybody in that seat. So long as we get this show up every week, I don't really care.
I am the trowel of the conversation.
A trowel, that's the tool you would be.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? If you had to be some sort of construction implement, what would it be?
I've always been partial. I don't know. I think just
doesn't matter. Moving on.
Socket wrench.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, actually, wow. That could say something about you. Have you discussed this with your therapist?
Yeah. I mean, she's seen the wrenches I put on my penis. So.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as long as you're out in the open with it. You should never hide something like that from your therapist.
Absolutely. So, are you ready for a big announcement, Chad?
Oh, that part of the question. I guess so.
All right.
So, what's the big announcement? Hyle,
you want me to do it? Okay. All right. Well, I feel sheepish about this now. Well, gee whiz. Okay, well, if you are a longtime listener of the Kongversation, you might have gathered from subtle, offhanded remarks we've made over the past couple of months that something like this was coming. Maybe not, but here it is.
Mm-hmm. We want your money!
Yay! Again! But this time, no more silverbackers. We're not doing the silverbacker program, which had served us well.
Well, it depends on your opinion of the Scrap 69 episode, how well it served us.
Hey, people on the DK Vine forum, at least two of them, including Scrap 69, said that was their favorite episode of the show. So.
All right. Well, it has a 50% approval from respondents that are not scraps. That's
there you
good.
go. So, yeah, we are joining Patreon.
That's right. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's sort of like Kickstarter, only for projects that are ongoing, that don't really... Unlike Kickstarter, where you have a campaign that lasts for a certain amount of days, and I would hope all our listeners are familiar with Kickstarter after the madness that was the Platonic Ukulele campaign earlier. And, of course, Lobo Destroyer, but that was a few years ago. So newer listeners probably know it from Yuka. Patreon is an ongoing thing. So since we do this every week, and DK Vine is ongoing, and we have some designs at future, more... YouTube-y kind of projects. We think that this is a pretty good time for us to try and give a higher tier of entertainment to you guys. I don't want to say content. But
yeah, I believe I referred to it as the deluxe DK Vine experience when we were hashing this out. It's so shitty, but it's just the right kind of shitty. I mean, let's be frank. I was very sheepish about even like getting into this territory because for 16 years now, like DK Vine has just been this kind of side hobby, and we've only like groveled for money like a couple times.
Yeah, I think maybe twice in the history, and usually that's it's always for server costs. But
right.
Yeah, now we actually we've settled on a few cool ideas, some of which we'll talk about today, some of which will be coming later, that we think that we can actually put your money to better use than just keeping the site alive. We want to thrive, man.
Yeah, we want to evolve, and I don't know. I felt
Well,
better
don't
about
scare
this.
the people.
Yeah. Well, I felt better about this once we actually hashed out what we could offer people for just $1 a month.
Well, actually, that's our first tier. So why don't we go? So the way that Patreon is organized is, much like Kickstarter, where you get rewards and then there are stretch goals. Where the collective money of everyone who's contributed go toward unlocking certain things. Patreon is much the same way. You have individual rewards based on how much money you give on a certain basis. We're gonna initially run our Patreon on a monthly basis. So you donate X amount of dollars per month, you get access to certain things. But then collectively with everyone, there are the Patreon version of stretch goals, which are milestones, and we have some pretty cool things that if we can gather X amount of dollars per month, we can start to unlock some really cool things.
Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear, Chad. Nothing about DK Vine as you know it today will change. Like we're not locking off anything that's available right now. We're not saying, oh, you can't access the DK Vine forum unless you pony up this much. Nothing is changing fundamentally as far as that goes.
Yeah, in fact, I don't think we're touching the forum at all.
No.
Yeah, the forum is, we really want to make sure that we don't alienate anyone who has gotten used to the status quo. We really just want to augment that.
No, we're not. Well, actually, we're not really locking off any content per se, but how you get it and when you get it might differ. So
let's dig into it. Yeah.
So at $1 a month, that's very, very cheap.
This is all U.S. dollars, by the way.
U.S. dollars, yeah.
I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I don't know how Patreon does I hope it does the foreign money calculation math, but that
don't know
remains to be seen.
I don't know what this is in yen, and I apologize to all of our economist diehards out there who expect better of us. Mm-hmm. But $1 a month, you will get yourself in the credits, and this kind of reveals something we have planned. In one of the higher tiers is all backers, starting with $1 a month, will have their names read out in the monthly Kongversation live recordings.
What?
What? Yeah. So we'll get to that.
Hyle, what is? Well, I was going to ask you what Kongversation live is, but maybe we'll put a pin in that one.
Oh,
and we're getting a little long in the tooth.
For $3 a month, Chad will never say put a pin in it.
I will continue making long teeth. All right, no. So it may take us a long time to read off these names, but whenever they make it to their final form, it'll be worth it, and we're not going to impact the normal Kongversation. Kongversation Live is something else. So
Kongversation Live. Yeah, Kongversation Live is going to be special editions of the Kongversation. And it's going to be like at the end of the Lord of the Rings extended editions when they listed everybody in the fan club. And
it's like half an hour.
Yeah. And you think, oh, wow, there's an hour left of this movie. I guess things aren't winding down.
Yeah, and we'll probably make fun of a lot of the names we say. So
we'll say them accurately, but then we'll make fun of them.
Yeah, or maybe we'll just do them in silly voices.
Well,
so if you want to hear your name read by Bill Clinton...
Hey, baby, it's Malik. Hey, Malik.
Don't presume Malik's going to contribute. He just likes calling in.
Malik has to now.
We've already read your voice, Malik, or your name, rather. All right, so that's $1 a month. $2 a month gets you the Kongversation Early Bird Special.
Early Bird Special?
Yeah,
this is
right.
perfect for all of our elderly forum members who just can't stay up all week for the Kongversation.
Octogenarians, perk your ears. So this level of patrons will be emailed a link to the Kongversation's YouTube posting as an unlisted video. Mm-hmm. We unfortunately, there's no good way to sort of give an advance copy of the iTunes feed, but YouTube is the best way we can do it, and people will be on the honor system. If you want to share the link, it's yours to share, but then you're sort of watering down the $2 that you spent. But anyway,
you're throwing your money away, basically. That's socialism, Bernie Sanders.
So these will go up a day before the normal Saturday release of the show.
Yeah. Let's be clear. We're not delaying the conversation a day. We are just giving the conversation a day early to those who give $2 a month.
That's right. Early bird special, $2 a month.
Yep. For a whopping $5 a month. You will have access to the Kongversation live stream via Twitch.
Right. Not to be confused with the earlier mentioned Kongversation Live, which is a special thing.
Yeah, this is a failure in branding, but that's on us. Every week during our normal recording time, which is going to be Wednesday nights, we will be broadcasting the Kongversation live via Twitch, and it's going to be private to patrons at this level. So you're basically going to witness us making the show, kind of just eavesdropping in on us, and that's a way to actually get the conversation several days earlier if you just can't wait.
Right, and again, this will be the normal conversation, normal format. We will not be reading out names every week. No. This is just a normal show. No interaction with the Twitch chat. And it will be on a special Twitch channel, not in the main DK Vine one. And we will only distribute that link to people who pony up $5 a month. That sweet, sweet cheddar. So, again,
Jesus Christ. You're making me feel filthy about this, Chad.
Similar to the YouTube advanced streams honor system. Maybe we'll rotate that secret URL, every couple months.
I think it'll rotate every so often, but yeah.
Right.
Basically, we've done a couple test versions of this, and the one's gone well. We're kind of doing another one right now. Not right now if you're listening to this episode normally, but if you happen to stumble into the Twitch stream during our recording on Wednesday night.
I'm glancing over there, and this will be the only time we ever reference the Twitch chat on a normal episode, but it looks like we have 4 people. Well,
wow!
Looks like Saf, Enter the Kiwi. Oh, now there's someone spamming the chat. Okay, cool. Trying to link to their Twitch stream. Okay,
cool.
Wow. So Twitch is a cesspool, but we're embracing it.
Yep, move over, JonTron. We've got 4 people, and some of them are spam bots.
Why aren't we using YouTube's streaming service that they just launched for this? That would make a lot more sense, wouldn't it?
No.
It's too late. Too late.
So, moving up, $10 a month. Oh, my God, $10 a month. All right, Mr. Rockefeller.
Yeah.
You're going to get a bonus episode called Kongversation Live.
Right. So this is what we alluded to earlier. So this is the monthly bonus episode. We'll probably do it on a weekend day, like a Saturday or a Sunday, but that'll be a regular thing. So you won't have to hope you get lucky and be around that time.
We'll give you plenty of warning in advance too, So
right, we need to lock down that schedule immediately because we're going to be launching this thing very soon.
I'm a freewheeling kind of guy, Chad. I mean, I do what I feel, and now we'll see. But it's going to be called Kongversation Live, and it's going to be a special monthly bonus episode.
Yeah, and by the way, live has an exclamation point, so we have we have gone through all the bonus rooms in this bonus episode.
Yeah, and it's extra exciting as well. So we're going to spend the entire episode interacting with the patrons in the private Twitch streams chat. And don't worry, because we will eventually release this audio as a Kongversation podcast episode, a bonus one, 1 month after the live event has actually taken place.
Right. So, we want to make sure that people can hear it. It'll also kind of help cross-promote the Patreon a little bit. But we want to make sure that it's a worthwhile exclusive to those of you that are part of this. So, that it'll be a month afterward. You guys get to steep in the exclusivity for 30 glorious days.
And of course, you actually also get to interact and help shape the episode as it's going. I mean, it's going to be a lot more looser, kind of a social club, kind of a hey everybody, hey sexy, what are you wearing kind of thing.
Do not frame it in that way.
Okay, so
I'm proud that the DK Vine forum is, a safe place for women to post.
Children.
Children, really? Is it?
I guess then we can't call it. The alternate name was live missing links, but I guess that doesn't work.
Perhaps, yeah. We should revisit that.
So not sexy at all.
No,
a completely buttoned up affair.
Right. We are utterly frigid, and we will treat all of our Twitch chat people with platonic respect. No, wait.
I see.
Platonic.
Okay.
I forgot the. Damn it! See, this happens when you have puns that become more frequently used than the origins of the pun.
It will be rare that we whip out our genitalia.
Extraordinarily rare. $10 a month.
All right, so now we're getting into kind of the limited offer tiers, I guess.
Yeah.
$20 a month. You know what? I'm going to let you read this because this is your baby.
All right, so this one, if you contribute $20 a month, and there is a limit to the first 100 folks that do, you will get vocal prostitution by Donkey Kong Universe character knockoffs. So basically, I will record a 1-minute message of your choice in the voice of your favorite Donkey Kong Universe character.
So, if you want a Conker the Squirrel voice, it'll come out something like this. If you want Shabunga, I can say whatever you want like this. Or if you want a Wario, it could be like this,
Or Mario. So, yeah, whatever.
Chad, what if I want Rodney the Hare?
Then I will make it up. So, yeah, be forewarned. My Banana Fairy Princess is not great. My Rodney the Hare is up to the whims of my imagination. So, if you do this limit and you choose a character that is either way outside my vocal range or has never had a vocal sample, I'm going to make one up.
I want you from off of It's Mr.
Oh, it's you? Okay, that'll be very easy. That's my normal voice.
No, not you, me. As in you.
Well, you said you.
Yeah.
You
but
mean
not
you.
Not you, me.
I only know one you, and that's me. Do you see? Don't do this to us. But basically, give us whatever you want, as long as it's like within a minute-ish. We, of course, will have editorial approval of the script you provide. Like, light profanity's okay, but, nothing personally offensive to individuals or groups. And we're going to be the arbiters of that. So
light profanity. I can't believe it's not racism spread,
So, also, unlike the other ones, which are ongoing, this is a one-time reward. So we will not be giving you a new vocal prostitution every month.
Right. We're going to turn off that red light pretty quickly.
All right, Roxanne, what do the people get at $25 a month?
All right. Well, this is unlimited. Back to unlimited. $25 a month. This is I think cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
unlike the rest.
No. I like this one. It's the DK Vine Inner Circle Skype chat.
Yeah. So if you
basically,
use another IM protocol, sorry, but this is going to be on Skype.
Skype is owned by Microsoft, and we are whores for Microsoft now. So you can join. It's going to be invitation-only Skype chat, and it's going to be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and both Chad and myself will, and probably the rest of the DK Vine staff will
almost
be
certainly, yeah,
constantly hanging out in it, and it's going to just be kind of a private club,
Yeah, and we're going to moderate it, of course. So if people get in there and just start being complete dicks, trolling, that kind of thing, we'll probably try and treat it with the same sort of more or less common sense approach that we do with moderating the forum. We'll reach out to people individually if there's a problem that seems like it's unintentional, and just sort of try and help them course correct. But we will boot people if they are obviously intentionally ruining it for the rest of you. But we think that this could be a really cool way to expand the
Dong?
best part. Yes, to expand. Oh God, to expand the best parts of the forum.
Yeah. Basically, and just think about it. Okay, you can experience like the hype when news breaks instantly. I mean, you've got the DK Vine forum, which is great, but like during major events like E3, when we were at E3, we don't have time to like post threads on the forum. We have to wait till that night usually. But we're gonna be in the Skype chat. We're gonna be there.
Yeah,
So
as long as
cool
we can
happens,
get cell phone reception, we can chat with all of you in the inner circle.
I'm hoping we'll figure that out by next E3. But yeah, basically this is where stuff will break. We'll be able to break stuff like that first and foremost. And during things like Nintendo Directs, it's going to be just like instantaneous. It's kind of like the old DK Vine chat of old, only a little older, a little wiser.
That's right.
No Mucusy Vulture.
Oh, I miss Mucusy Vulture. Do you want to briefly tell the people what Mucusy Vulture is all about?
I don't know what it was about. It was the mascot you invited in to be the mascot of the DK Vine chat.
Yeah, well, it was because we had like this IRC iframe. I don't even know if iframes were used on websites back in those days, but basically it was a chat room that we embedded into the site, and it came with a few pre-made emoticons, and one of them was just this dripping green thing that vaguely resembled a vulture's skull. So I called it Mucusy Vulture, and I loved it dearly.
Mm-hmm. It was one of the Chad's characters that I never really inured to. I'm sorry to say, Chad.
Yeah, it was this and
One-Armed Donnie.
One-Armed Donnie and Evil Amoeba you didn't cotton to either.
Yeah, but I preferred Evil Amiibo.
Amiibo? Oh, yeah, I guess that would be before its time.
Yeah, Evil Amiibo is they're all evil because you can't find them anywhere and you don't know where they're lurking. It's like a horror movie.
Oh, man, this is cutting commentary, isn't it?
Cutting comment, and that's what you're going to get in a DK Vine Inner Circle Skype chat. This kind of witty bon mots will be shared constantly.
We have observed that amiibo are difficult to track down, and we've got a funny thing to say.
What's the deal? So, $30 a month, and this is going to be a limit of 50. But this is really cool.
Yeah.
Unlike the other trash we're offering, you're a theme tune.
Yeah.
Chad, care to explain?
Everyone knows Matt Corna. He's basically the person who's holding DK Vine together, apart from all the crap we're doing. And of course, a lot of stuff like Cameron is rocking out the Tumblr, and Joe posts a lot of the news, and Nick does the comic, and everyone's doing great work, but Matt does more than all of us and puts us to shame. He's also a musical virtuoso, and he has offered to. There's a limit of 50 on this, so get in there early with your $30. But he will turn your name into a theme tune, to the tune of a Donkey Kong Universe song. So. If this sounds confusing to you, just listen to what he did to my name.
Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, na na na, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, na 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 na, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, na na na, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, Chad McCanna, na na na.
So. If that sounds like a thing you want.
Finally, you have the voicemail message that your heart desires.
Right. Yeah. Or this would make a great ringtone, actually. Just to the tune of whatever. And it's going to be difficult if someone asks for like an ambient song. Like I can't imagine the the Donkey Kong Country 3 Overworld. How is he going to do that? He's a genius. He'll figure it out.
He is a genius. Yeah, we are not as musically gifted, as in not at all. So we can't process the way his brain works, but I'm sure he's already figured it out for everybody's name in the entire world.
So that'll be fun. Again, limited to 50 because if this thing does take off, we can't just chain Matt to a radiator to crank these things out.
By the way, it should be pointed out that you are granted access to all the previous tiers, correct?
Well, we should, if we haven't.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you give $30 a month, you're going to get everything below that.
Right. So, yeah, you contribute at this, you get all the shit we talked about earlier. Yeah. So the last individual reward, and we know this is up there, but I think it's worth it because you get something physical for it. $40 a month.
$40 a month.
There's an unlimited number of these.
Unlimited.
This Brothers Bear is best. So,
yes.
Hyle, what are the ins and outs of this thing?
All right. Well, to thank you for your generosity, we will give you a gift of a official DK Vine, Which Brothers Bear is best poster.
Right. This is a gift as a thank you. You are not purchasing this item from us.
You're purchasing something else, which I'm getting to.
Right.
So we're giving you a gift of this official Which Brothers Bear is best poster, as we used at E3 and other conventions over the summer. So you will become, with this poster and with the $40 a month donation, an official Which Brothers Bear is best correspondent for DK Vine. So basically, this will grant you the rights, so long as you're at this tier, to produce official Which Brothers Bear is best videos for DK Vine, which we will then put on our official YouTube channel. We reserve the right to reject, edit, or consolidate your video for content at our discretion.
Yeah, we're not going to be, Nazis about that. As long as, you're, again, sort of going back to the rules of where I vocally prostitute myself, we'll edit. We'll give you the leeway of the English language. You can be profane. Just use forum common sense, and it'll be fine. We really don't. We don't want to reject people for arbitrary reasons to get out of work. That's not what this is about. We want as many people to answer the most pressing issue of our times, that being Which Brothers Bear is indeed best.
And this is cool because you can officially produce content for DK Vine and have it featured, and we'll promote it, we'll plug it,
Yeah.
We'll give it a home, and
if there's a ton of these, we may consolidate them, as we sort of like how we did with the fan gamer, the camp fan gamer piece that Nick Prohl did. We put 3 of them in one. We may do that. It really depends on how many submissions we get.
But again, so long as you're at this tier, you can make these videos. So I think that's cool.
That is cool. So
that is cool.
That $40 a month, we know that's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Now, I know there's some spoiled rich kids out there who are like, that's nothing. Done.
Yeah.
Give me 3 Brothers Bear posters.
Well, this is a one per kind of thing.
Yeah,
but,
I know. Yeah.
Unless you sign up with different accounts and do $40 over and over, I guess then we'll send you extra posters, whatever.
If you have multiple personalities and they would all like to become an official Which Brothers Bear is best correspondent, it's understandable, and we'll try to accommodate you as best as possible.
Sure. Now, those are the individual rewards. Let's get into the milestones, because I think there's some really interesting stuff in here.
Keep in mind, you get cool stuff at just $1 a month, so don't be discouraged with the whole $40 thing. We know that's pie in the sky. We know that's like.
And also one of the things that's nice about Patreon is that if you feel like you want to increase your contribution at any point, you can. It's not like you lock yourself into $5 and now you've ruined it for the rest of your life. So it's fine.
Yeah. So let's talk about the milestones. So these are just individual milestones that if we reach a certain amount per month from everybody, then we will be able to start producing new content for DK Vine. And this is really exciting. This is the whole reason we're doing this.
Right. New content and new distribution venues as well.
Yeah.
So that's the first one, actually. And this is a perfect example of directly where this money will be going. Mind you, we don't want to get too much into the financials, but all of this money will be taxed. So, if it seems like this isn't a direct 1-to-1 ratio of where the money goes, there's also Uncle Sam to consider. So just bear that in mind. But $150 collectively from all of you per month, and we will get a SoundCloud Pro account and start posting the Kongversation every week and the bonus Kongversation Live episodes on SoundCloud on our normal posting schedule.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Have you? Are you familiar with SoundCloud, Hyle?
No.
Well, that makes one of us. I've looked into it a bit.
Is Donkey Kong in it? Or the Beatles?
No, that's Chimpanzee Clouds.
Okay.
And yeah, Beatles, just Paul, Head in the Clouds. Memory almost full?
Memory almost full, yeah,
Yes, I got it. So on SoundCloud, it's pretty cool because you get, basically it displays the entire audio file as a horizontal waveform that spans the entire width of your browser, and people are actually able to comment on specific moments. So it's very easy to reference something that you liked and then get a little thread going, sort of branching off of that. It's a neat website, a neat platform.
It's neato.
Yeah, I'm not being condescending. No, we're really, we know that there's a lot of SoundClouders, I guess, out there. So we want to put the conversation out, and hopefully you guys will like engaging with it in that way.
SoundCloud Cuckoo Landers.
That's right.
$300 a month collectively. Okay, this is where things start getting really cool. The Vine Donkey Kong audio program will return and we'll finish up episode 207, which
we're framing this as a conclusion.
Well,
at this tier.
At this tier. So basically this massive episode, and this is the episode that broke the show and made us quit doing this podcast. This massive episode will feature the cast sliding into this universe that's based on the constantly rebooting DC Comics universe. And so, yeah, Alistair Craig will finish the editing on that episode.
Mm-hmm. By the way, we need to plug Alistair's brainchild, his sketch comedy series on YouTube, Cheeky Moon Films. They are fantastic. And you can find them at youtube.com/cheekymoonfilms.
Yeah.
You should definitely check it out. They have their newest post is The Existential Crisis of Thomas the Tank Engine, and it's among their finest work. Anyway, Alistair's great. He is.
Everybody loves Alistair. Like,
you
seriously,
can't not.
Seriously, everybody loves Alistair. And yeah, he will finish the edit of this episode, which was so complex. It broke our brains.
Yeah.
This is
we wrote the whole thing. We've recorded we recorded the whole thing, but some of the audio has been lost to time, so we'll re-record the missing pieces.
Right.
But like it's almost there. It's so editing intensive to do these feature-length radio plays.
It's a feature-length superhero movie that we thought we could do. But we will do it. We will do it at $300 a month. It will be concluded, and it's fantastic. Like I'm like so proud of the script and the performances. It's a hilarious episode, and I'm not like blowing ourselves. It's like I'm very proud of it. And
yeah, Hyle's never proud of his own work, so this should say something.
I'm not. So I would really like people to hear it because it's and it's still very timely too, I think. So except some parts of it, I'm sure. The discussion parts. This predates the conversation, keep in mind. So
yeah, that's true. Yeah, this goes back 3 years almost.
Yeah, well, we'll see what we can do there. But as far as the actual scripted bits, which make up 85% of the show, audio dynamite.
Right. So yeah, we may have to edit all those Syrian refugee references for good taste, but yeah.
At the time, who would have not known? I mean, seriously.
Who could have possibly known that Syria would have another refugee crisis?
I thought we were safe,
Yeah, time makes fools of us all. So at $500 a month, again, collectively, and I know this amount of money seems ridiculous. We're shooting for the clouds here. I will start twitching pretty much all of my console gaming, via Twitch, posted to the main DK Vine channel. Again, since this is a collective thing, everyone gets to benefit from this. It's not like a personal reward. And at first I'll do a balance of strictly game audio and ongoing commentary, kind of based on what people want me to do. If you get sick of hearing me talk about what I'm doing or whatever tangent's going on, or perhaps even what Janelle and I are having for dinner that night, then maybe I'll just go game audio only. But that'll be sort of on an ad hoc basis. But I'll also do planned streams that we'll announce via email to all of our patrons. So if you donate anything and you get on our $1 list, you'll obviously be on the email, on the notification list for all of this stuff.
So there you go.
Yeah, and we'll also announce the impromptu streams on our Twitter account. So
sounds exciting. I can't wait to watch what you're playing, Chad. All right. $1,000 a month collectively. If we get $1,000 a month, Elvis and Slick Monty regenerates.
What?
So
Hyle, what is Elvis and Slick Monty?
I'm glad you asked, Chad. So long time DK Viners will know what this is, and we've referenced it on air before, but we had an Emmy-winning college TV show back in the day. And no, that's not a joke. It actually won an Emmy. It's a science fiction sitcom, and it's kind of been buried. The DVDs don't work anymore. Whatever. But if we get this much a month, we'll put in the time to take the 10 episodes and put them up on YouTube. Right. And including the full-length commentary tracks and everything else from the DVDs.
Yes, and everything else. They're like each of these DVDs. I'm the one who mastered these, put them together, like a decade ago. There's almost as much. There actually is more special feature content than there is actual show. So if you want to see like the very early fetal stages of what Hyle and I, did after our initial run on DK Vine.
The fetal days of Elvis and Slick Monty.
The fetal days, which actually comes into the finale.
It does.
Spoilers.
We love embryonic humor. What can I say?
Yeah. This is a great way to not only see that, but get to hear our commentary tracks, all the special features. It's a really cool time capsule, and we're not just going to dump the stuff on YouTube. We really want to recreate the DVD experience.
We want to treat it right because this was our baby. This still is our baby. I mean, I am the first season sucks major ass, but it's some people will defend it on the forum. They prefer the first season. I don't see it, but okay.
They're crazy.
But
the commentary tracks on all of the first season, like we did full length commentary for every episode, and even the ones that suck, the commentary tracks are great. It's like that's the first time we ever did something like this.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not counting DKJV radio back in the day, but
but you never really got on that, and we never had a back and forth.
I got off on it. I got off on it. I botched that
safety
joke.
Dance.
Yeah. No, but like the second season, especially the latter part of the second season, I think we're still immensely proud of. I mean, it's won an Emmy for Christ's sake, so of course we're proud of it. And that's
$1,000 a month.
$1,000 a month if we get that collectively. Are you ready for this exciting announcement, Chad?
Oh, I'm buckled in, Hyle.
All right, $1,500 a month.
Ooh, that's a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we should have cut it off. I think that's too much money. It's too much money. We're not going to do it.
I'm going all in, baby.
All right.
The Vine Donkey Kong audio program returns.
What?
Production will fully resume on the Vine Donkey Kong audio program. 2 new episodes a year. Now, I realize that doesn't seem like a lot, but with the Kongversation and the fact that these are basically feature length, as in major motion picture length, audio plays, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of investment. But if we're getting that much a month, we're going all in on it, and this will happen.
Right.
We do have the storyline for. Actually, we had the storyline for a couple years mapped out, and we will resume that. And we will. The show will be fine-tuned because we won't be having the discussion bits. It will be purely scripted tomfoolery. Because
the episodes may be a little shorter as a result too. I mean,
Still essentially feature length. I mean,
the Vine was like an hour and a half to 2 hours. This may be like closer to an hour to an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah. But it'll be coming back 2 episodes a year.
Right. And that's the schedule. It doesn't sound like a lot, but a lot goes into this. Alistair will be back to not only play beloved character Bidet 52, but to help with the editorial duties. And
also play beloved character Alistair Craig.
I don't think many people like that one. No, but we think that two of these per year plus like all the other shit that we're doing, that's a manageable pace. So if it doesn't sound like that much, we hope you guys understand that a fuckload of energy goes into making the Vine Donkey Kong audio program, which is why we burned out.
Remember when we did them one episode every 2 weeks?
Yeah, that was insane.
Well, that's also, the show gradually evolved from just a regular podcast into audio plays, and which is why we had to kind of move away from it and start the Kongversation. So
I'm very proud of the discipline that we've had on the Kongversation. the sci-fi serialized story elements are really relegated to the intro song.
Yeah, and we can't help that. I mean, we just get these every week from the Ape Raper himself. So,
that is his canonical name, by the way.
That's his given Christian name. So, all right.
Mr. and Mrs. Raper, what would you like to name your son?
I believe we'll call him Ape. Can we move on to the next tier, please?
Please. So at $2,500 a month, $2,500 collectively. Again, maybe unrealistic to start. The nice thing about Twitter, about Patreon, is that it's an ongoing thing. So if we can build momentum, if you guys like this and you help us spread the word, maybe eventually we'll get to this. But basically, Hyle and I live a few thousand miles away from each other. I'm in New York. He's in Virginia.
A few thousand, really?
I think so. America's big, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was a few hundred miles. No.
Okay, well,
I don't know. Math is hard.
Yeah, we can't, there's literally no way to know how far apart we live. But this would let us fix that problem with regular meetups every 3 months. So we would use these occasions to record and create a ton of new DK Vine content. The Let's Play with Each Other video series that we sort of did and then abandoned a while back.
We didn't abandon it. That's still waiting to come back out of its shell, of its cocoon.
It's in the can on a hard drive that I hope wasn't corrupted on my now dead computer. It's somewhere, so let's not depend on that. But we're going to do new ones if we get to this tier. We'll get to meet up regularly. We want to do new video featurettes that sort of explain this bizarre fandom that all of you are invested in. We'll make sure that these videos are polished, quality befitting 2 washed up Emmy winners.
Absolutely. I'm excited about this. Yeah, so it'll be, every 3 months we get to meet up, Chad.
That's right. Surely, the $2,500, that's got to be the top tier, right? There's no way we could ask these good people for more money than that.
Oh, my God, it keeps going.
What?
If we're making $5,000 a month, now, granted, this is like, pie in the sky, cloud cuckoo land, not even SoundCloud. This is beyond SoundCloud. $5,000 a month. Guess what, Chad? Guess what? DK Vine becomes my full-time job.
Holy shit. You're going to quit your job.
I will be an official Donkey Kong fan.
You'll be an official Donkey Kong DK Vine employee.
I will be a professional Donkey Kong Universe fan, and I will devote my 9-to-5 existence to DK Vine.
And probably more than that, let's be honest.
Let's be honest, because, sorry, Michelle, but I'm dedicated to this. So, basically,
That's
I will
okay,
devote...
Hyle, I forgive you.
Oh, if she sounded like that, we would not be engaged. I will devote my full-time resources to DK Vine content, improvements, and community engagement. Okay, here's the thing. The Slush Fund will expand to include daily Twitch streams, Monday through Friday. So, assuming I'm still playing Donkey Konga 2, I will be twitching that shit on a daily basis with editorials detailing my experiences afterwards.
This will be the death of you.
I will also contribute a broader focus on main site content like biographies, feature articles, and yes, breaking news. So DK Vine would be my job. I would be basically keeping the daily existence of it up on my shoulders while you focus on the bigger projects.
Yeah.
And yeah. Wouldn't that be a terrifying social experiment you'd love to see is what we have written here. And I agree. I would love to see how that would break me.
You're answering this entirely rhetorical question.
At $5,000 a month, you get to find out.
All right. Now, $5,000, that's probably our upper limit. Like Red Letter Media, those people make $20,000 a month on Twitch, but they've got the Plinkett reviews on Patreon rather. But they've got the Plinkett reviews, they've got all the, there's no way we could possibly expect to get anything more than $5,000 a month, right?
Well, assuming that Donkey Kong becomes the biggest thing in the nation and in the world. If we're making $35,000 a month, Chad.
Okay, so this is, by the way, where we're just getting ridiculous with it. So we don't expect this to ever happen.
But we're being completely serious too.
Right.
If this happens, we are committed to this. Contractually, we have to do this.
We do.
All right. Can I have the honors to do this one?
Please.
I'm excited.
$35,000 a month. What will we do, Hyle?
Elvis and Slick Money, Season 3.
What? How can we possibly do that?
All right. You know how shows are coming back? There's no such thing as a dead show. They just announced this week Gilmore Girls is coming back for 4 episodes.
Oh, really? Is it?
The X-Files is coming back for 6 episodes in January. Arrested Development had a 4th season. They're having a 5th season. Mm-hmm. There's no such thing as a show that ends. So why not us?
Yeah, it's almost always a bad idea to resurrect a long-dead TV series, so we want to have that same bad idea.
Absolutely. So we'll return to this weird show universe we created and crank out 5 new episodes of Elvis and Slick Money. And of course, if it's $35,000 a month, we'll actually have our production budget for once. So you might see some old favorites return, but I think really exciting for us is we'd also bring in new characters played by members of the DK Vine family.
That's right. We've a lot of the Elvis and Slick Money cast, pretty much all of them, have moved on to their own things. We haven't talked to anyone who was on that cast. There are a few people that would probably jump at the opportunity to reprise their roles. Some that maybe wouldn't.
Banksley doesn't realize it, but he did sign that contract in blood. So
Banks is one of the more enthusiastic ones I was referring to. Yeah, it may be harder to track down a few others, but
it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll do what we can to deal with the realities of those situations, and we'll probably, just knowing us, we'll probably come up with some in-universe explanation for why either people are missing or look weird. But we do have a plot planned out for season 3. And
because Chad, you were totally opposed to even me putting this on here until I had an idea and I pitched it to you and it just clicked. It was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
and it's kind of exciting. I'm not saying this is ever going to happen, but goddamn, if it did, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So, Elvis and Slick season 3 at the low price of $35,000 a month. So here we have one last pie in the sky that will never ever happen. But
okay.
We're putting this on here just to give you guys a little taste of what might be possible. Again, one of the nice things about Patreon is that in an ongoing, never-ending campaign, the rewards can be shifted around. So if this starts to seem like something that may be more feasible, maybe we'll lower the amount. But at this point, we just want to put the idea out there into the universe. The long-teased, much ballyhooed Kongversation at currently slotted at $50,000 a month.
Well, I mean, to do it right, that's what we're thinking right now,
Yeah.
Because,
and by the way, we haven't really crunched the numbers on this. Again, we just wanted to put it down. We're pretty confident that if we were raking in $50,000 on a monthly basis, we could rent out a convention hall. but
it'd also be getting guests, having production values, and not just be like a game of bingo, a Donkey Kong themed bingo.
Right. So we'd have guest speakers, we'd have panels, special events, we'd have an entire room of treadmills for Crystal cosplayers.
I actually wrote that on there, yeah.
Yeah, so, we just want to dangle this little carrot in front of your nose.
Banana.
Sure, we'll dangle the banana. And if it seems like it's actually attainable, maybe we'll start to work out some real numbers and bump it down the financial tier a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So...
Oh, and I see Hyle, that you've added another one here.
Yeah, why not?
I thought surely $50,000 would be the upper limit of what we could even dream to get, but what is this?
I put at $5 billion a month, we will be able to finally produce my dream of Scrambled Eggs, the off-Broadway musical. Now,
going back to where it all started, the first Scrambled Eggs, which was an alcohol-fueled bacchanalia a few rooms away from where Janelle and I were trying to sleep after our wedding night, that was also off-Broadway, technically.
Technically it was, yeah.
That was you, Jeremy Thorne, Kaio, Preston, one of Janelle's friends, a few other people from the wedding just getting trashed and trying to record a podcast that was an absolute unlistenable train wreck.
Yeah, because we were recording it on a webcam. And it was basically, if you haven't listened to it, it's on our site. It's in, I think, the Vine Donkey Kong audio program special features for season 1.
Don't listen to it; it's terrible. Just don't even sate your curiosity. It's awful.
But look, I'm thinking, like Hamilton is a big musical right now, and Scrambled Eggs also involved famous political figures. So why couldn't this be a musical?
All your favorite Jon Stewart impressions. Featuring Penguin Man.
Whack, whack, whack. I shot someone in the face.
JFK was there. I think, did Richard Nixon show up?
Of course Nixon would have had to show up. Bill Clinton was definitely there.
Yeah.
Scrambled
early
Eggs was a
Clinton
mess.
Right there.
Yeah, we should stop talking about this because $5 billion a month will never, ever, 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 ever happen. And we're basically just making this seem like we're less serious about all the stuff we talked about before it.
We're completely serious, but I'm also completely serious about reaching for the sky. Shoot for the stars. At the very least, you'll hit the moon.
Oh, that's disgusting.
It is. It is.
If you hit the moon too hard, it'll crack open and a big winged creature will fly away and then lay an egg the exact mass of the previous moon.
Oh, God. But at least you'll defeat Tiki Tong.
That's true. You win some, you lose some. So that's Patreon. The goal is to launch it this Saturday, which would probably be when you're listening to this episode. So fingers crossed that comes to fruition. From this point on, we're gonna be doing the conversation live on Twitch. We're gonna be accommodating everything we just promised you, and we've been blabbing about it for an hour. So I think it's about time we take some listener calls.
Let's take some calls. Yeah. Let's clear the air. We're not going to be talking about this every week. We're going to plug it, but we're not going to go into details. It's out there now. If you need further details, go to dkvine.com/Patreon.
That's right. Yeah, man, that's a lot.
That's a lot of whoring. Good Lord.
We've been planning this for a couple months. We're definitely open to feedback. Like we said, this is it's a campaign that will evolve over time. If there's something that you guys really want that we can work into some tier, we're certainly open to suggestions. We hope you guys enjoy this, and we hope this is that we can give you enough cool stuff for the money that you would very generously donate to us.
And look, obviously this is all fluid. It's a living document. We might be adding more tiers at a future date. We might, be adjusting how we do this depending on feedback.
And what I promise we won't do is like all of a sudden rip out all the rewards from under you once you've started donating at a higher tier. We're not going to do that.
No. We're completely serious about this. We are invested. We've planned it out. It's all feasible. It's all doable. and we're ready to launch it. So fingers crossed. I'm not expecting much to start with, but hopefully, we'll get there. We'll get to that $5 billion, and we'll do Scrambled Eggs the musical, and my life will be a sham.
Maybe we'll get future First Lady Bill Clinton to appear in person as himself.
I think that's $10 billion a month. So maybe
we'll donate it all to the Clinton Global Initiative.
CGI, baby. Oh, man, when I'm back in the White House, that's going to stand for cock goblin interns.
Oh, my God. Did you just come up with that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. All right. First caller.
Hey, this is Dustin Demon calling in again. Hey, so we've had lots of footage and information coming out for various canceled Rare games lately, from Rare Replay, from just being leaked in general online. So I wanted to know what Rare game, it doesn't have to, no need to limit yourself to just DKU games, but which canceled Rare game would you guys most like to have seen become a completed, finished game? I would personally go with Saberman Stampede. I thought the footage that we've seen looked pretty awesome. I'd love to play another cartoony open-world game like that, exploring this huge world, riding around on animals everywhere. It just looked pretty fun. So, what canceled game would you wish have come out, I guess? All right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for the call, Dustin Demon.
Thank you, Mr. Demon.
Dustin Diamond. I'd go with the same. I'm not going to waste my vote on Dinosaur Planet because we essentially got Dinosaur Planet minus...
You finally made your peace with that.
I have. We only got one Warp Stone instead of two Swap Stones. We didn't get Randorn. We didn't really get Kite. We kind of, there's the whole Majestic 8 thing that was stripped out. But there's been enough leaked about Dinosaur Planet that I've made peace with the fact that it's basically Star Fox Adventures. Saberman Stampede, or in fact, no, I'll scale it back. He said any canceled Rare game. So Donkey Kong Racing is the game. That's the one that I want to see. We talked, at length last week about how badass it was to see Kremlantis show up again.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And I love the idea of having an ongoing kind of leveling up system in which you raise your mounts and then race them in the racing game. I think there's some really cool things they could do with an online infrastructure that would really reward people who devote a lot of time to improving not only their racing skills but their actual stable of animals. There's a lot of cool stuff that could have been done, and with a DK license, it's like a pitch perfect application of that. So that's my answer.
Obviously Donkey Kong Racing is probably my white whale at this point, and I assume you'd be able to ride white whales in the game. But I think apologies if I've made that joke before. I think. I'm not going to waste my vote on that because you vote for Donkey Kong Racing. I'll vote for something else. I don't know if you could really consider this a canceled game. It's a proposed game that never got past conceptual ideas, but neat in the nuts.
Okay. All right. I think that it would probably wind up being called Ghoulsville in the Gloom or something.
Yeah. But I mean, by the time it was already Ghoulsville in the Gloom, they probably knew there was no way it was going to happen.
So for listeners that aren't super familiar with the pre-release drama surrounding Grab by the Ghoulies, what is Neat in the Nuts?
Neat in the Nuts was their idea. Greg Mayles and crew, the Banjo team, the Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2 team. It was their idea for the sequel to Grab by the Ghoulies. When they were making Ghoulies, of course, they had ideas for sequel. I mean, that's the way they roll. They always have more ideas than they can implement in the first game. So basically, it was called Neat in the Nuts because that was what was initially on the sign for the town, the little village closest to Ghoulhaven Hall. And the actual demo for Grab by the Ghoulies, which you got on the Xbox magazine disc, it still said Neat in the Nuts. And then By the time the actual game came out, it was changed to Ghoulsville in the Gloom.
Now, did you open that disc, or did you own that disc?
I did, yeah.
Was it rated by the ESRB, or is it like a pre-rated version? Because I can't imagine that would even skirt by like a first round.
I'd have to check. I'm pretty sure there were some ratings on there.
Asleep at the Switch.
I consider demos to be somewhat canon.
Here's my thing with demos. I say that, and beta games for that matter, as long as they don't contradict what was in the final game, I think that they can be interpreted as Word of God esque information to sort of contextualize what the developers were intending to do.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole another debate for another day. Especially like that era of demos, when like demos weren't just like things you could download and just play a little bit. It was like, it seemed like it was an actual event. Oh, the demo is on this disc. Ooh, I get to play the demo. Nobody really gives a shit about demos anymore. But
well, that's not true. They're just downloadable now.
Right? Yeah, I know. But even then, I guess it was more of a novelty back then. But yeah, I've been thinking about this, especially with Halloween approaching and Ghoulies having this renewed focus thanks to Rare Replay. How much it would rock to have a Ghoulie sequel that would take place in a village. I was at the Busch Gardens amusement park in Williamsburg with Michelle the other week for her birthday, and
you're gonna start. Now, I know you're engaged. You're gonna get married in about a year's time. You're gonna start referring to Michelle the way that Regis Philbin used to refer to Joy on Regis and Kathy Lee.
You're always referring to Janelle.
Yeah, I guess maybe it's just weird for me to hear you say her name on the air. So
okay,
yeah.
Look, I found somebody with the same. My fiance rhymes with your wife, so it's fine.
Michelle Janelle. Oh my God.
Yeah, we did that. You're welcome. So anyway, I assume you found somebody with the last name of Gibbons to satisfy your raging Donkey Kong fandom.
Well, naturally.
No, we were at the Busch Gardens amusement park, and they started that week. The weekend we were there, they started their Halloween events, Hallowscream they call it. So at 6 p.m.
That's clever. I see what they did there.
I know, it's a very clever pun. So at 6 p.m. every night, they turn the entire park over into like this amusement park of horrors. It's like the R.L. Stine Goosebumps book. Welcome to Screamland, or whatever the fuck it was called.
I thought you were going to say It Came from Beneath the Sink.
Say cheese and die, Chad.
Okay, cheese?
And then you die, but it turns out it was just a dream.
Yeah, turn the page, and everything was invalidated.
Those
Goosebumps books, they... I think that maybe one of the reasons that I wasn't as pissed off with the constant mythological bait and switch in like Battlestar Galactica and Lost is because like I was tempered in the fires of Goosebumps.
Speaking of Lost and Goosebumps, the Goosebumps movie with Jack Black, it stars Jack's Flash Sideways son.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, we were, if you don't know, Busch Gardens in Williamsburg, they basically have a European theme. So each section of the park is based on a different country from Europe. And in the English section, it basically becomes like this Victorian nightmare where like headless Victorian women walk around, and like you've got like Jack the Ripper type serial killers like jumping out at you, and real fun for the whole family. And
yeah.
But I was thinking, you're in this like quaint little English hamlet, and you're like, I was thinking, oh my God, this is kind of what Need in the Nuts would be like. And it's all of a sudden, like the gears started turning, and I started like thinking and fantasizing about the game, and having ghoulies in a whole town, like the really expansive like little village with like all new ghoulies and all new eccentric weirdos like running shops and whatnot.
Yeah, really playing off the like the exploration, which is something that Ghoulies was definitely structured in a very challenge based kind of segmented way. But I think that it'd be cool for the larger canvas of an entire city to not only have those challenges, but also hold the whole thing together with kind of a non-linear, like city square, like a town square kind of thing. And then there's so, like, maybe there would even be like online interactions, and you could have multiple. You could go beat up ghoulies with your friends. I mean, there's a lot of cool shit that Greg and company probably would have done if given the chance.
And I was thinking like about possible new ghoulies. You could have like you'd have to like start branching out into like really obscure like mythology and urban legend. So you'd have like Spring-Heeled Jack and
the Aztec Golem.
Now they don't want to repeat themselves, Chad.
That's true.
Anyway, so yeah, I'm as much as I want Donkey Kong Racing, and that's actually my number one pick. I will, for the sake of difference in opinion, I will give my vote to Need in the Nuts.
All right,
that's my answer.
You've gerrymandered the vote, but I'll allow it.
All right.
Next call.
Hey there, Chad and Hyle. It's Malik once again with a question for you, just in time to miss Conquer Week. So there's been a lot of stuff about 12 Tales that's been revealed lately. It has been revealed. And though I'm glad we got Bad Fur Day in the end, I still lament some of the stuff that never came to be in the final product, specifically when it comes to music. So I'm asking you guys, is there a music track from 12 Tales that you really want to hear in its entirety, either from that VHS footage or a track from Pocket Tales that we never heard an N64 equivalent to? Me personally, I've fallen in love with the Western theme and a yodeling theme that happens like 20 minutes into the VHS footage that cuts off way too early. But yeah, that's all for me this week, and yeah, I will talk to you guys next time, whenever that may be. See ya!
All right, thanks, Malik.
This is interesting because I know you know this, Malik, because you posted about it on the Facebook page, but did you call in before they officially released the Western theme on their YouTube?
This is actually call, since we had our Spotlight episode last week, this call came in before Conquer Theme Week.
Okay, so
congratulations, Malik.
You got the song you wanted because they actually released it on the their YouTube channel, or Rare's YouTube channel. So yeah, it was fantastic to hear that. It was surreal to actually hear basically what we call the Vultureville theme done with real instruments.
Yeah. So what would you say though if you could either pick one from? By the way, that video from that you referenced, that VHS tape, is from Rare Minion, aka I1 Falcon, aka Amir, our good friend Amir that we met at E3 this year.
That's right.
And is able to get his hands on all these wonderful toys.
That's right.
He actually got his hands on that VHS tape and put it out for all the world to see. Yeah. So what do you reckon, Hyle? What would you say?
Oh, without a doubt, Evil Acorn, Smelly Bastard.
Really?
Hang
on. Here, I've got it right here. Oh wait, no, that's not it.
That's not it.
You're
making me look like a fool, McCanna.
Yeah, I am. What did I call it? Evil Acorn, Smelly Bastard?
Yeah.
All right, this is good pod, I know, but
we're really making the case for that Patreon.
I wasn't prepared for this call. We don't screen these things. Let's see. Yeah, dig it. All right, I'm lowering it a little because that's excruciating. Yeah. So this would be what you would like to hear in all its Nintendo 64 glory.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, what instruments would that translate to? Like, I guess like skinning a cat, like literally, like that's what it would be.
Ice pick on the temple, perhaps.
Yeah, I am tantalized how Robin Beelan would bring that to life. So,
well. So I would go with one of the world themes, actually a Crow Keep, and I don't think I have a copy of it queued up, but that's it had this really neat melodic. It was sort of similar to Evil Acorn Smelly Bastard, only not excruciating to listen to.
We have different tastes, my friend.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I think that it's pretty much confirmed that at least the vast majority of the Pocket Tales music was influenced by the 12 Tales original, but I don't know. I don't know how far Robin Beanland got into actually composing that before it was handed off to Evelyn Fisher. So I don't know if this actually exists, the Crow Keep one. But yeah, that's my answer, Malik.
There you go, Malik.
And by the way,
Thanks
I apologize for the weird rambling way that I answered that. I was actively trying to Google music while I was answering. I'll never do that again.
No, that was terrible.
That was a bad idea. We're learning, folks. We're getting it down. Live
Baby
shows.
steps. Yeah.
All right, let's take another call.
Hey, Chad and Hyle. This is Phoenix from Off the Forum. I've got something of a DKU-specific question, and I figured you two were the perfect/only people to ask. So the DKU rules are often explained through sitcom analogies, but as I understand it, they only turned out that way due to the convenience of the situation. If I'm remembering correctly, you both were upset with the Rare fans who only wanted to talk about GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, so the rules were created so that you could have a site dedicated solely to the Rare games you like. And Rare just so happened to have created a shared universe that can be followed using something akin to sitcom universe rules. Which brings me to my question. In an alternate universe, where Banjo-Kazooie wasn't delayed, and was Nintendo's big holiday release in '97, how would that have affected the creation of the DKU? Banjo was the second biggest piece of the DKU, right after DK himself, and it's even thanks to it that you two met in the first place. But things only worked out the way they did because his game got delayed, thus allowing him to appear in Diddy Kong Racing first. So, would Banjo not have been part of the DKU? Or would the rules have been created differently to accommodate the game? Because of course Banjo-Kazooie needed to have been included. Like, for instance, maybe you two would have been more lenient with the character rules, so that Naughty from Click Clock Wood could have been counted as a Naughty from Donkey Kong Country? I don't know. That's why I'm asking you. How would things have played out in this scenario? Anyways, thanks for taking my call, and keep up with the good work. I love the show. Bye.
That's a really nice sentiment there, Phoenix. Thank you for the call.
Thank you for rising from the ashes for this call.
Hyle, I think so. You were the one who first coined the sitcom analogy, sort of based on what you and the often mentioned Elliot used to sort of kick around as this shared universe concept.
But by the way, I would try to get Elliot as a guest speaker at the Kongversation.
Do you have any sort of relationship with Elliot anymore?
Haven't talked to him for probably close to a decade.
Are you at least friends with him on Facebook? Like, do you know if he's even still alive?
I don't get on my personal Facebook too often, so I don't even know.
All right, Elliot, if you're out there, we may be reaching out when the good people donate $50,000 a month. It's never going to happen. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know that it was exactly a reaction to Rare fans who wanted to talk about the gun-toting games, but it sort of lined up that we tend to be more interested in these ones, and the rules served that purpose, right?
Look, I liked GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, you know. I didn't dislike them. It just was discouraging because during that time when Rare fandom was big enough to be bifurcated like that, it seemed like certain segments only wanted to talk about them, like that they were the valid Rare games, and everything else is kind of the kiddie fare, you know.
Right.
So that was where our hostilities from that came from. Now this is the question that I often ponder, actually, because we came very close to Banjo-Kazooie not being part of the Donkey Kong universe, at least by the rules we laid out. And that seems unfathomable to think about because it is like the second biggest branch of the DKU. I mean, it is right up there.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically everything, if you trace the path, it's incredibly linear. Donkey Kong Country, Donkey Kong Land, Country 2, Land 2, Country 3, Land 3. Well, no, it's actually Country 3, Mario Kart 64, Land 3. Yes. But so there is that one branch off into the cameo games, but then Diddy Kong Racing is where shit goes crazy. But then Banjo-Kazooie is the second craziest shit that goes.
Yeah.
Because from Banjo, of course, we derive the whole Fish and Chaps brand of the Donkey Kong universe, which is Viva Pinata, it's Mr. Pants, Grab by the Ghoulies, of course. And we also get Star Fox Adventures off of Tricky the Triceratops.
Sea of Thieves might also be Fish and Chaps.
Oh, of course, thanks to Captain Black-Eye. Yeah.
Right.
And possibly Royston. We have no way of knowing. There's literally no way to know outside breaking into Rare headquarters.
That's right, which we've tried to do that, didn't work out.
No, not so much. That was another time, another Rare. It's maybe it'd work out better these days. Actually, no. I want to discourage people from breaking and entering in Manor Park. It would not turn out well. Don't do it, folks.
No, don't do it.
But if you do, tell them DK Vine says hi.
That's right. As they said, they're baton-wielding policemen.
Yeah, people they'll be like wheeled out in handcuffs, screaming at the top of their lungs, "Evil Acorn! Evil Acorn!"
That's good. That's our version of Baba Booey.
So yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I think we would probably, well, as he was formulating the question, naughty is the first thing that leapt to mind. I think we can do a little fancy footwork there, but
I'm sure. No, I'm sure because early DK Vine history, we considered that to be very naughty from Donkey Kong Country. It was only until after the 2010 reformation of DK Vine that we acknowledged some of the stuff we came up with in high school and put a critical light on it and fine-tuned it, and we decided that would have to be a new naughty, which we fan-wanked to be mildly naughty.
Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. We probably still be making that case that it was very naughty, or who knows. I mean, keep in mind, this stuff was already formulated before Chad and I had met. Like, the whole Donkey Kong Universe concept was something I adhered to, and I know Chad adhered to something similar, and we just kind of, like, put our heads together and combed over it.
I basically had an informal, like, mental shared world that I understood all these characters populated, but I never thought about applying, like, actual legally style rules to it the way that eventually DK Vine did.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's scary to think about. Thankfully, there was really no way Banjo-Kazooie was ever going to make that holiday 97 release date. It was just not going to happen. And thankfully, the Diddy Kong Racing team had this awesome kick-ass game almost finished. So, I don't know. I think we would justify it had it gone the other way, but it's hard to say it really is because that's...
I don't know. We already had the justification for it back in those days. I think we just wouldn't recontextualize it 10 years later.
No, I guess you're right. Yeah, it's just hard to think about though because like that's the day I got that Nintendo Power with Diddy Kong Racing being revealed in the back of it, and you saw Banjo and Conker in it. That's the day everything changed. So it's kind of hard to even get into that Diddy Kong Racing mindset, you know?
That's the day your free time died.
That's the day I decided that at $5,000 a month, I will devote my life to this.
All right. So let's drive the Chevy to the levee. Take another call.
Hi, I'm new to the DK Vine forum. My name is Justin, and I was told that now is the best time to join the forum. You're welcome, Hyle. And my first question for you guys is, what new playable Kong would you like to see in the new Donkey Kong Country platformer? Obviously, DK and Diddy are pretty no-brainers, but what other ones would you like to see? Thank you. Bye.
Cool. Well, thanks for calling, Justin. I guess he's a first time, long time. So
yeah. Well, thanks for the call. And this is a good question. This is something I think about on a daily basis.
You have a lot of Donkey Kong universe related questions that you think about on a daily basis.
Yeah, during showers or long walks or sex or stuff pops in your head.
Right.
Some guys think about baseball. I think about my interest.
See, when I do that, it makes me prematurely ejaculate.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, it has the opposite intended effect as thinking about baseball during sex.
That's right. Well, I tried to think about Ken Griffey Jr.'s winning run, and yeah.
Oh my God! Someone in the stands was holding up a DK sign.
So anyway, yeah, I think that the next 2D platformer, I guess it was a 2D platformer, I don't know, Donkey Kong Country Baja Blast, whatever. I would want to see the Donkey Diddy Dixie Cranky team. I don't think there's any reason to mess with that at this point.
Oh, so you wouldn't make room? You don't think 4 is enough?
No. Here's the thing.
Okay.
I think after you beat the game, get 100% or whatever, then you get to unlock additional Kongs, and you get to play, whether it's mirror mode or something better. I think then you get to experience the game with these new Kongs and get to play these new challenges with them, and that will freshen things up a great deal. So I think that would be a good place to unlock the Donkey Kong 64 Kongs: lanky, chunky, tiny.
Okay, interesting. See, I was gonna go. So yeah, lanky was on my list. I don't know so much about tiny and possibly chunky, but I feel like chunky would really just be another DK skin, and same with Tiny and Dixie. Did you have sort of unique moves in mind for them?
It's not my job. It's Nintendo's job to figure that shit out.
Yeah.
I can just critique it later.
Yeah, go create, creatives. Do your cute little video game tricks. No, but I think lanky could bring a lot to the table, especially where attack is concerned. Of course,
I think the handstand move where you get up slopes you can never get up as any other Kong. Like,
yeah, you could maybe even walk up an almost vertical surface with lanky. There could be some really cool.
You could expose
things.
entirely new planes of the level that you would never be on before with lanky. So yeah.
Yeah. I would also I would like to introduce Wrinkly Kong. Not really as a playable. I want Wrinkly Kong to be the super guide, the Super Kong.
So you want to bring the Super Guide back because it was completely retired in Tropical Freeze.
Well, I had a good idea for it, but that's a fair point. Maybe let's leave Super Kong dead, but let me just say my idea.
No, I know what your idea is because I share the similar idea, and it's a fantastic idea.
Oh, did we? Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe this is just going back to an old Donkey Kong Country Returns episode.
Yeah, where Wrinkly possesses you, and
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the ghost of Wrinkly Kong would possess your character, and she's apparently an expert navigationalist, and she would be able to get you through the game. That'd be a cool way to.
Only when she jumps in her son's body.
Mm-hmm. Right. Of course, he specified Kongs, right?
Yeah.
So we're not going to get into animal buddies on this.
No. I would like to see new Kongs introduced because it's high time we got some high quality new Kongs. How exciting was it? Donkey Kong Country 2, we got Swanky and Wrinkly. Mm-hmm. So I would like to see some Kong helpers, but he said playable, so I'll leave that topic for another day.
Yeah, I think new Kongs are at this point best introduced as NPCs. See how they work, see what their gimmick is, and then maybe promote them in. I feel like there's a big enough stable that you could pretty much work out almost any gameplay mechanic with one of the existing currently unplayable Kongs.
And there's so many of them, and they're not being used, so let's not clutter it up by introducing even more and then discouraging fans of the older characters. So
yeah. All right. Well, thank you for the call, Justin. And
yes, thank you.
Yeah, call again sometime. That was a good one.
Call every week, like Mamechi.
If you want.
All right, lads. Kev here. Well, I was just wondering, as the co-host of one of the longest-running and most popular Rare podcasts of all time, I personally sometimes like to dive into my archives and listen to some old favourites. Do you guys ever go back and listen to your own episodes, or is that a bit too embarrassing hearing your own voice? If you do, what are your favourite episodes and why? Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, and hang on, before we answer, he called immediately afterwards with a follow-up.
All right, lads, me again. I just realised I forgot to tell you my favourite episodes. Bloody hell. Just a very quick rundown. My favourite episodes are Bears, and I know that's like the most hated episode ever, but I thought it was brilliant. And I don't even think Matt's the best fit on the Kongversation, but that episode was just brilliant. I think the Anticipation Months, followed by the Power Supplies Catalogue 2-parter, that's the equivalent of the Pegasus arc from Battlestar Galactica, to which you'll never return. And I'm just sort of scrolling up through the list here. Your Tropical Freeze coverage was brilliant. DKC Spotlight, obviously. Well, all your spotlights, actually. And then, I think I've mentioned this on the forum this week, but from the Sutherland interview up until the last couple of weeks, I think that was like the perfect unbroken run of episodes. So, keep it up, lads, and let me know your favourites. Bye-bye.
Well, I'm glad we ruined our perfect run of episodes sometime in the last couple of weeks.
Right. Yeah, he didn't tell us exactly where it was. Probably one of our emptying our call sack episodes. People don't seem to like those all that much, but it's for you. It's for you, the listener, to participate.
Yeah, people don't like it when you unload your call sack all over them.
Yeah, maybe this Patreon is ill-advised.
Too late now.
Yeah, it's too late. We can't turn back. I don't know. Well, first off, do you ever listen to the show afterwards?
I feel like I spend so much time with an episode any given week, like either editing it and like listening through, and I'll maybe like I sometimes I'll listen to like half an episode and then it'll just get weird for me. Mm-hmm. I'll go back and listen to something if I need to reference something we did, but it's not like I don't like masturbate to myself. No.
I think he just asked if you listen to yourself, not necessarily stroking your dick at the same time. But...
No, the thing is, like, time is limited anyway, and I've got like other stuff I want to watch or consume, and my own output is not one of them.
The newest season of The Walking Dead's not gonna watch itself.
I can't wait to see which beloved character dies.
Yeah,
it's great entertainment.
I love that perpetual nihilism.
Yeah, well, I love the message that like caring and like looking out for others is a bad thing, and that you need to just give in to inherently selfish principles. You know, Ayn Rand and Ayn Rand, however you pronounce it. I
think it's Ayn. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, trains and shit. I don't know. Atlas Shrugged. I don't know. But
John Galt's coming up cold.
Yeah. In conclusion, fuck The Walking Dead. It's just a libertarian fantasy at this point, and
it's actually the last. I usually give each season of The Walking Dead like an episode to hook me, and then if I don't give a shit, then I abandon it, which is what I've done for like the last 2 seasons. I'm actually still with it 2 episodes in. Things are happening that aren't infuriating or discouraging of existence in general.
Wow.
Yeah. So hey, maybe they finally realized that you actually need a plot to have a show.
Keep reaching for that rainbow, Walking Dead. You'll get there.
Right.
The most successful show in cable history. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm honestly encouraged that they were not able to replicate that lightning in a bottle with Fear the Walking Dead. Clearly, the public is sort of reaching its saturation limit.
Yeah. But you know, whatever. We'll get there with Walking Dead, Deep Space Nine. I'm sure.
I can't wait for Walking Dead Voyager. That'll be great.
So anyway, what the fuck? Oh yeah.
So you don't listen to So I basically, if we alternate editing duties, and I use the term editing very lightly. Basically, it's just a matter of syncing up our respective audio streams. If it's a spotlight episode, putting some music below, putting on the intro, the outro, and giving it to the world. But I generally, if it's one that Hyle does, I will listen to the show just to so I can remind myself what the hell we talked about, so that if something comes up later, my memory issues do not seem as severe as they actually are.
I do take it back. I have re-listened to 2 episodes.
Oh, okay. Which ones were they?
The Chris Sutherland interview and Our Week at Rare, which is our E3 recap, which I think I'll listen to again because it's a nice kind of memory capsule, of what happened that week.
Yeah, that was the one that Craig Duncan, the studio head at Rare, said, I like Rare too, but geez, 3 hours, guys?
So yeah, those are my favorite episodes, and I have fond memories of doing a lot of these. Some of them blend in, some of them don't. Like, I don't know, it's a weekly show, so you hit a point where, okay, I don't really remember doing that episode, but sure.
Yeah, and we've done now almost 150 of these things. So
yeah,
I went back at one point and listened to the very first episode, which is only like half an hour long, and
I can't get through that one. That is so weird.
We're really muted, and despite the fact that we'd been doing the Vine Donkey Kong audio program, we like our shtick isn't quite down yet. We're very demure. I don't know. It's a strange listen.
Unlike Stephen Colbert, we didn't really figure it out. We were still essentially playing characters for a lot of the first season of the Kongversation. We were still playing like our terrible, almost racist, just.
Oh, not almost. There was a lot of tongue-in-cheek anti-Semitism in those episodes,
and we didn't realize that. No, you're not actually. There's no scripted elements to this. You're not playing like versions of yourself. You're actually presenting yourself as the real deal. And once we, I think, figured that out, we had to realign how we did this show. Which
and I think
requires
that
some soul searching.
Yeah, those elements might have unintentionally turned off a lot of people, but I mean, generally, when people who make jokes a lot hang out, like, I don't want to say when comedians, I don't want to classify us as comedians, but when funny people hang out, a lot of times they go for the horrible shock joke just as a lazy silence filler. And we were leaning on that pretty heavily in those days.
But also the whole culture of that has kind of changed in just the last couple of years. And I mean, we cut our comedic teeth in the late 90s, early 2000s, where that kind of stuff, the more shocking you could be, I think the more acceptable it was, and that's kind of completely changed as well. So we had to basically figure out how to be funny again. And I don't think we ever did, but here we are.
Yeah, we've been plugging away, such as it is. I do remember, though, to answer the other part of your question, one of my personal highlights. I haven't gone back and listened to it, but I remember the utter glee at reading through the Nintendo Power Catalog 2-parter.
It's a lot of people's favorite episode.
Yeah, I remember how much fun that was to record because we were sort of exploring it in real time on the show, and so it was our honest to God recollection from the hazy memories of childhood and abject horror at some of the things that Nintendo was selling to people in those days. It was a lot. That was a fun one.
Bomb downhill with a monkey, Chad.
That's right, on your Donkey Kong Country 2 branded inflatable sled.
Oh, yeah. It wasn't even like the real logo. They just slapped it too.
Oh, it was very obviously like a pre-Photoshop photo manipulation, just putting the logo on an existing product. I wonder what it actually looked like if you bought one.
Like, they couldn't even put Diddy and Dixie on it. Like,
Jesus. It's so lazy, Nintendo. We should try and track one of those down. I used to scour eBay even back in when eBay first came out, like in the year 2000, 2001. That would have been probably the best opportunity to find a Donkey Kong Country 2 snow sled, because it would have only been released for about 5 years now. These days, I think it'd be virtually impossible.
I would imagine so. But if we can find one, we can have a like a room at the Kongversation where you can bomb downhill with the monkey. We'll like make fake snow, keep it cold.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that'll be right next to the crystal treadmill room. We'll have a snowblower and actually or a snow machine and create a bomb downhill room. That'd be great.
Oh man, see, this is why it would take $50,000 a month.
Maybe we could put it in. We could like stage the convention next to a body of water and have the banana boat outside, so people can choose whether they want to bomb downhill or get on the banana boat.
Yeah, Deo. Okay. Well,
next call. This one, by the way, is extremely short.
Are you guys ready for Donkey Kong Jr. Racing?
That's it.
All right. Well, I know what this is in relation to. There was not even news this week. Basically, Nintendo of America renewed the Donkey Kong Jr. trademark, and of course, that led to all sorts of panicked responses and hand wringing on the forums. Basically, the description states that they renewed it for downloadable electronic game programs, downloadable electronic video game software, electronic game programs, electronic game software, video game programs, and video game software. So they really covered their bases here.
Right. You'd think that electronic software, or what was the first category?
Downloadable electronic game programs.
Oh yeah, okay. So electronic game programs should be an umbrella term that encompasses video games, but
it seems like they just used every permeation of the word video game that they could possibly think of just to cover their bases.
Is that really what we're paying lawyers $500 an hour for?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
That's how Saf from the DK Vine forum makes his living. Because I just assume he's a lawyer, and so
he must have a really successful Patreon to make that much.
I bet that's going to be a plot in Better Call Saul Season 2. He starts a Patreon. Anyway, so, it's like the Diddy... Remember the Diddy Kong renewal or whatever it was in Europe over the summer, like right before E3, where we thought, here we go, Diddy Kong Racing Wii U. Kevin Callahan was right.
Yeah.
Hashtag I believe in Kevin Callahan. Well, that ultimately... maybe was nothing. It might have been related to Skylanders, but we really don't know. It could have just been a simple trademark renewal, and it could be Donkey Kong Jr.'s renewal was up. I don't know. I don't know how this works. I'm not a lawyer like Saf or Saul Goodman. So
at least the one at E3, I mean, that Diddy Kong renewal was in the lead up to the Electronic Entertainment Expo, so it gave us something to suggest. This one is so random. I really just think they may be planning to re-release Donkey Kong Jr. or Donkey Kong 3 on the eShop. Are they out yet? In fact, that's a good question.
They've been on the eShop for a long time.
Shows what I fucking know. Yeah, so I mean, it's probably just a renewal, or maybe he's going to show up in Nintendo's big holiday title this year, Mario Tennis.
Oh, that shit show! Yeah, if we have time at the end of the episode, I want to go on a rant like Dennis Miller.
Oh, come on! Don't be too harsh. It's
cha-cha. No, so this Donkey Kong Jr. thing, I hypothesized that it was they were going to be offering like the arcade games as downloadable content on like phones, like where they're first branching out. Donkey Kong Jr. would be a good game to offer on mobile devices because it wouldn't really cut into Nintendo's bottom line at all. I was told then by Tom Bennett of the Lobo Destroyo team, Left-Handed Games, that
and the forums for Rockstar.
And the forums for Rockstar, that Nintendo wasn't planning on doing any existing games on the mobile platform. They were only going to develop new mobile titles. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to hold to that. But from the way this is all worded, I wouldn't worry. I don't think they're going to be making a new Donkey Kong Jr. game or bringing him into a Donkey Kong game. I think that's very hard to do. and it would displace Diddy Kong, and I think they're all in on Diddy Kong at this point. So
yeah, and I think that the Country series and that version of Donkey Kong has proven pretty successful for Nintendo. I don't know why they would cut themselves off at the knees like that.
Especially at this point, it would disrupt the continuity of the Country games. It would be confusing. They already have Baby Donkey Kong if they want to have a similar character.
And they do merchandise for there are Baby Donkey Kong plushies at the Nintendo World Store.
There's one on my desk right now.
Yeah, if they did this, they would seriously be confusing the brand. It would be besides the fact that as fans we don't want to see the character regress. It's also just a bad business decision.
We haven't seen the Donkey Kong Jr. character since Game & Watch Gallery 4. So
yeah.
I think Nintendo, they want to keep the trademark renewed because the game is still an iconic part of Nintendo's stable.
Well, it is one of the Mario costumes in Mario Maker.
Yeah, and it could have just been related to that. They could have realized, oh shit, we need to renew it because it's in Mario Maker.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be the sole reason behind it. So again, I don't think the character has any room in a modern Nintendo. I don't think he's going to be Smash Brothers DLC. That was another worry. That was Sakurai's way of getting a Donkey Kong character on the ballot because that would be a kind of the dick move he would pull. But
they love K. Rool. This is the same thing, right?
Yeah. This way I don't have to do a filthy Western character. This is pure Japanese, baby.
The way to do a Donkey Kong Jr. tribute is what Retro Studios did in Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was amazing. The final, if you're not aware, the final stage, Golden Temple in Returns, the one that you ultimately have to unlock. Not only is it like a crazy dreamscape of fruit flying everywhere in the clouds, but the music in the background is the Donkey Kong Jr. Main theme.
Yeah.
Or a remix of it. It's really cool.
Yeah, and I would be up to see a time travel Donkey Kong Country game where young Cranky and Donkey Kong Jr. team up with Donkey and Diddy of the modern day. That would be cool.
Donkey Kong Generations, make it so.
Yeah, and then Cranky can have a bridge get dropped on them or whatever. It was fun.
Oh, that. I was like, the bridge of the Enterprise never dropped on anyone. Bridge.
Yeah. The little I don't know, rope bridge or whatever the fuck he was on. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what finally bested Captain Kirk.
Yeah, it should have been I don't know, syphilis or something that did him in.
All right, so there you go, unknown caller. Return to your tomb. We have one more in the call sack.
Oh boy,
we're not emptying our call sack, but officially,
keep listening, because this isn't one of those episodes,
right? But this is the last one we're doing tonight, so it's basically empty.
Hey, see again. I met you.
Yes.
So happens today is Back to the Future Day. So yeah.
Speaking of time travel,
that's when the movie takes place. But I have a very odd question today.
DuckTales?
Time travel. So close your eyes and picture this, please. Someone got a DeLorean, okay, and it's any old one, and it happens to time travel like in the movie, right? So go back to the day when you first played Donkey Kong Country. Okay? So go back in time to the day when you first got Donkey Kong Country for the SNES.
Mm-hmm.
And you meet 10-year-old or 11-year-old you, basically. And I just want to know this. If you could meet your past self, what would you tell them about the future? Related to the DKU, I mean, of course.
Oh.
So 9/11. No.
Yeah.
So have a good day, and, well, that's about it. See you guys.
Well, thanks for that bizarre question as usual, Mamechi.
Yeah, I was honestly a little disappointed he didn't go to Duckburg with it. But also, I was disappointed, Mamechi, you established a catchphrase last week, and it was amazing.
What was his catchphrase?
Memechi out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was amazing. Start doing that more, Memechi. So yeah, it is Back to the Future Day, which it's October. We're recording this on October 21st, 2015, which is of course the day that Doc, Marty, and Jennifer, who was tranquilized most of the time, went to the future from 1985, and of course this was a day that loomed large in our minds in our entire childhood, and we were like wondering what this day would actually look like when we got there. And I was thinking about this a lot today. Like, could you imagine being a hardcore Back to the Future fan and absolutely dreading this day? Like nervously looking to see if their flying cars were in development, like hoping the present could actually match that future as closely as possible, and realizing it's going to utterly fail.
I'm actually friends with just such a hardcore Back to the Future fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one of the aforementioned cast of Elvis and Slick Monty, Matt Mole.
Matt Mole, yeah.
Yeah, who played Anderson Tyrone, the boxer, and all of the other... Well, I don't want to spoil it now that we're going to release this, but Matt Mole played multiple characters on Elvis and Slick Monty.
You might say he played multiple characters.
Oh. So anyway, he is like a crazy diehard.
He was, yeah.
Well, he's also a diehard fan, but he's a big fan of movies of the late 80s, early to mid 90s, Back to the Future being foremost among them. And he's been doing on Facebook just like a series throughout the entire month of like Back to the Future quotes and facts, and leading up to today. So yeah.
Now, to be fair, movies of that era, I think, are like generally superior to a lot of the ones we get today. Like at least
really?
the fantasy kind of sci-fi movies, they were there's a timeless quality to them. I mean, the Back to the Future trilogy holds up. Ghostbusters holds up.
But there are still timeless sci-fi and fantasy movies that come out today. It's just generally the mainstream ones are rarer.
Okay,
I said,
okay.
Yeah, like Moon, for example. I know that's like a 5-year-old movie, but that would hold up. I would place Moon next to one of the better 80s movies. Maybe not Blade Runner, but Moon is great.
Here's the thing, though. The movie Moon with Sam Rockwell is not going to hook you as a kid.
That's true. That's
what Back to the Future, E.T., all these films, the Star Wars trilogy, if you want to really hit the starting point of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these are all movies that hook you as children and stay with you forever. So that's what I mean, basically.
Yeah, but also we were those kids that got hooked and they stayed with us forever. I'm sure if you asked one of the kids of today in 20 years, like what are the big classic movies in your childhood, they'll probably have been showed a lot of the ones that we grew up with, but I'm sure there's going to be movies that we just sort of roll our eyes at today that actually hook those kind of children.
No, all the children all the children today will be dead of obesity in 20 years, Chad.
Oh yeah, that's also a good point.
So anyway, it's Back to the Future Day. Did you ever think, because they went to the future, it was like 4:30 something Pacific time, PM. Did you ever think that as we started recording this 7:30 something PM Eastern time, did you ever think that this is what you would be doing when Doc and Marty went to the future? You'd be recording a Donkey Kong podcast?
No, all I knew about the future was that it is what we make of it, so make it a good one.
Yeah, they trotted out Christopher Lloyd to do that line. Universal got him to dress up as Doc Brown to do that line. They recorded a video, and he was like, and he was like, he's like so old and tired at this point.
You mean they revisited that? There's actually like new Doc and Marty material?
The Doc material. They recorded and Robert Zemeckis did a thing with Christopher Lloyd for the new 30th anniversary Back to the Future Blu-ray set. And it's basically they tried to explain why the future doesn't match up with the present, basically.
Shut up, guys. It doesn't matter. No.
But then they also got him to record this line where they shared it on social media at midnight today, and it's sad because he looks so tired, and he said, Doc Brown here. If my calculations are correct, it is precisely October 21st, 2015. And it doesn't really match up to what we thought it was. But
yeah, because he should be dead.
But that's because your future hasn't been written yet. Nobody's has. So make it a good one, all of you. And I'm just like, oh, that's the most depressing thing I've ever seen.
Really? Is that depressing to you? Just because he's so haggard?
Because he's haggard and he put no effort into the line, and it just repeating. Remember that line from the movie, guys? He says it again.
Yeah, he was in a train. Everyone's favorite movie from the Back to the Future trilogy.
Ayn Rand's favorite mode of transportation.
That's really what inspired Zemeckis to make the third one a Western.
Yeah. So, anyway, so if we could time travel, Chad.
Yes. To get back to Memechi's honestly pretty straightforward question.
We've got to get back to Memechi's skull. If we could go back and visit our childhood selves the day we first played Donkey Kong Country and tell them about the future, but related to Donkey Kong, so nothing practical, what would we say?
Well, generally when you want to impart some prescient knowledge like that, you want to avoid something negative in the future, unless you're going straight up almanac and you want to try and incite something positive for yourself. I don't want to affect things in that. I'm generally pretty happy with how things have turned out. What I would do though is I would say that when you think the Donkey Kong Country series is dead, it's not. Be patient. That's
when you think Rare has fallen off the map. Be patient; they haven't.
Right. I would just try and instill a little bit of perspective into a 9-year-old that would never listen.
Yeah, I think I would say the same thing, because really I don't want to spoil anything either. You know, I would say this is going to lead to some wonderful things for you, and just stick with it.
Yeah, some high highs and some very, very low lows. But maybe we can mitigate those low lows a bit. Let's just have a chat. That is, of course, providing my parents didn't call the police. Because there's
a stranger claiming to be you.
A 30-year-old man. Yeah. So I think that's a decent enough answer. Memechi, I hope you're satisfied.
Yeah, he was probably looking for an answer like to tie into Back to the Future, like we would go back in time and like try have sex with our mom or something.
Yeah. No, I never. No. No.
That's what Marty McFly did.
I know that's what Marty McFly did, and I lack the edible complex of Marty McFly. So
he probably impregnated her, and that's why he has Parkinson's.
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.